Here's a question that asks you to find this region. So this is one of our finding area questions, kind of a context question where you have to form the integral. So first of all, let's have a look at A. A's fairly straightforward. So we've got 1 plus sine 2x all squared, and we've got to show that is equal to the thing on the right. So we've got 1 plus sine of 2x squared. So that means that basically we're just going to have two brackets. So we get 1 times 1, that's 1. 1 times sine 2x, and sine 2x times 1. So we've got 2 sine of 2x. And finally, we've got sine squared of 2x. Right, so that's just expanding our brackets. Now we can think about this, because we've got a double angle and a square, and we want to end up with cos 4x up here. Because basically you can see in the middle we've got a sine 2x and a sine 2x, so that's okay. Now, what can we do with that? Well, we can use the fact that cos of 2x, the identities, is equal to 1 minus sine 2 sine squared of x. Okay. Now we'll use this to replace this part. So we rewrite this. It means that 2 sine squared, in this case 2x, is equal to 1 minus cos of 4x. Okay, but we don't have 2, we have half, we have 1, so we're going to do a half of that. So we have to do a half of this. Let's rewrite that. So now we've got 1 plus 2 sine 2x plus a half minus a half cos of 4x. Okay. And if we add these two together, that's going to give us 3 over 2. So that means we've got 3 over 2 plus 2 sine 2x minus cos, so that's a half cos of 4x. Now all we have to do is basically put that into the final form by taking the half outside. That's a half times 3 plus a half times 4 sine 2x minus cos of 4x. And that's our, now we have the thing that we wanted from A. Right. Now we can move on and have a go at B. Now let's find the area. Well, we've just rewritten this in terms of sine and cos, where we have terms added and subtracted, so it's making it easier to integrate. So now we can just integrate that. So let's write our integral out. So our integral is, I'm going to put a half outside. Remember, it says coefficient outside, make it easier. So a half times 3 plus 4 sine 2x minus cos of 4x dx. Remember, all added and subtracted should be easy. So our answer is going to be a half. We integrate 3. What are we going to get? We're going to get 3x. We integrate cos. I'm going to get, sorry, in sine, I get minus cos. So I get minus 4 divided by 2 cos. Cos of 2x. Basically, when we have ax, we divide by a. Okay, and now I've got minus cos x, so I'm going to integrate that, which means I get minus sine. Okay, I've got 4x again. I've got an a, so So I need to divide by A. So that becomes a quarter. And I'll put that in terms of my limits, which are 3 pi over 4, which is basically where it touches the x-axis, and obviously where it starts at 0. So now I've got an integral, I've got my function, I've got my limits. All I have to do is substitute them in. Okay, if you do that substitution, remember, 2 brackets, subtract from each other. If you go through that, you should get 9 pi over 8 plus 1. Okay, the only thing to think about is basically substitute in your cos and your sine, and then put those as values. Okay, you'll find out that your cos actually gets you either 0 or 1, and the same thing for your sine, and then use that to work out the answer or avoid errors, I think. Right, give it a go.